Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we are playing with Oily Growth, which is an Is It aggro deck that I put together. Is it true that Magic Cards is the #1 nerd game amongst the ladies? Stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, your master of ceremonies on this journey of fun and enlightenment, Dr. Yukon SuckIt. Yes, thank you. Filmed for a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon SuckIt. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you once again from my, say it with me, secret underground headquarters. Thank you. And I'm bringing to you a deck of my own creation, which I have entitled Oily Growth. Oily Growth. Now it is an Is It aggro deck with lots and lots of good fighting. So it's one of those decks that just screams Dr. SuckIt. At least that's the way I feel about it. Oro Snook. Oh, that's a Dr. SuckIt deck. This one is too. Why? And you can just kind of see right off the top of my head, there's Urabrask Forge. There's Burn Down the House. That's it. There's only 2 cards in here. Maybe Obi-Wan is another one that Dr. SuckIt's super in love with. But totes, man. This one is the way to go. What is in here? It's not Dr. SuckIt. Yeah, Shivan Reef. But the deal is, it is an aggro deck. And there you go, man. Sometimes you just have to play it. Sometimes you have to play with Suicide Lands. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what is in this deck really quick, and then we'll take it out and crush some hopes and dreams. Let's see, we got Cacophony Scamp, which is just a real cheap 1/1, and when you deal combat damage to a player, you can sacrifice it to proliferate. This guy puts out an oil counter onto a non-artifact creature. This thing will take oil counters and get bigger for each one that gets on it. So as you can see, really we're going to see this is all about putting out oil counters and then proliferate, right? This guy lets you draw cards and proliferate. This one does damage and proliferate. This guy gets an oil counter each turn and throws out a trample hasty guy, which you give up at the end of the turn. But he gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every turn. This guy throws 2 points onto another creature, as well as then you can sacrifice it to deal that damage to any target. So these guys are good for sacrificing. Volt Charge does damage and then proliferating. This one wipes the board of either creatures or creatures and planeswalkers or artifacts. Does either 3 points of damage or artifacts of 3 or less mana value. This guy says if you proliferate again. This guy says if you deal non-combat damage, you deal double that amount of damage. This thing deals damage every time a counter is placed on a permanent that you control. And so with all of the countering we're doing, this thing will be firing off like crazy, and hopefully this guy will be doing twice the damage. Burn Down the House does 5 points of damage to each creature and each planeswalker, or gives you 3 devils with haste. So it doesn't really go along with the whole deck, but a nice board wipe cannot be passed up. Mycosynth Gardens. I usually don't talk about lands too much, but this is a fantastic card in this deck because for X mana, you can become a copy of another non-token artifact you control, and I recommend you keep it for Urabrask's Forge. The more of these things you have, the better off you're going to be. So you get 1 or 2 of those out, you use these to make copies of those. You have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 Urabrask's Forge. People cannot stand against that. And then you just proliferate. All right, so that's how the deck's going to work. Let's go out and kill some people. But first, our prayers. Dear Black King Toxrill, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please heed my prayers and grant your blessings as I attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and hear the lamentation of the women. All right, playing against King Kali the Great. King Kali. Keep. That guy an artifact? He is not, despite all the metal on him. He looks very artifacty. I mean, I can make a copy of that, or this, I should say. Nope. We're going to put Urabrask's Forge. You can kill that guy. Whatever, man. Alright, well, proliferations and volt charges now mean something. One, two, three. You gonna block with your Tenacious D? You should. I got a mana land. Save the Volt Charge for Kikijiki. Alright, he's got 5 mana. No sleeves. And an old pet. Alright, anything you block with will die. And they do have trample. What else can we pull at this point? Nice. I was afraid I was going to have to wait till next turn to put it out. And that was going to be bad, okay? As soon as you get shot in the face. You guys playing pretty standard Rakdos. Like a grandpa. What does it say? Whenever a creature deals combat damage, return target creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Yikes. And another. He's just going to start chomping. We are going to make things big. This is great for us. All right, so he's going to be killed unless he sacks something. Couple of things. He's got to be doing math right now. And he's dead. He didn't do math well enough. That's why you have to graduate from the 6th grade. Boom, boom! All right, playing against Impadia 2. All right, 2 mana. All right, let's keep it. Nothing I could do with blue. All right, let's hope we pull a mana on the next turn. Yeah, it looks a lot like a mana. I'll live with that. Bam, bam. Here we go. In for 6. One more mana would be really great. That is not the mana I was looking for. So what we're going to do, though, Crazy Town, that's what we're going to do. Something's happening. You can try to protect them. Little Tyvar. There we go. Alright, this is where he just goes ahead and gives it up. It's indestructible, so he doesn't care. Alright, it's down to 2. Technically, I could win the game next time on Brotherhood. And, of course, Tyvar. Not going to help it out too much. Let's go for Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan. And there we go. We got it. You can only block 2. 1 in, right down the center. Boom, boom! Goes the room. Our opponent against Redfox. Remember Redfox? He was really good on Sanford and the Sun. There you go. Keep. All right, we can play the Blood Price. All right, there's turn number 2, because I want to get to turn number 3 quickly. Ooh, we're playing against Mono Red now. This is Rakdos. Oh, let's just go to Slow Path. I like to get the forges out before I start proliferating. Brotherhood's End is going to go over really well for me. Just going to have to take some pain. There we go. There's the block. Good for you. And it's transformed. I gotta blow these guys away. Gone! And a 2-1. I'll attack. Getting stronger, says he. I gotta wait till that thing gets its thing out. Then we can proliferate. I'll attack. Alright, that's looking good. Experimental. I'll take Obi-Wan for 1,000, Pat. Submit. Alright, Rask to the win, but still in a really good position. Alright, so Obi-Wan, let's just do that. We can start killing people like Squee. Alright, it's down to 4. Use it as a bouncer. Of course, I need like a lot of mana for it. Question is, can he do 6 points of damage to me in 1 turn? Right now he can do 2. He just has to... It's not doubler. It's just an additional point. He has to put out at least another 3 points. He can shoot me in the face. Lightning strike. He's trying to figure out the math right now. Not quite enough. Yeah, it does not have haste. You are out of mana. And it's my turn. There we go. And we win. Good game. Good game. Victory. Alright, playing against Donnie Jarkko. Jarkko. 4 mana. And a bunch of board wipes. Alright. Is this going to get us anywhere? I don't know. This guy's going to play like Azorius Soldier, maybe? We're just going to have to take the damage for a little bit. Ugh. Really can't do much about that, can I? Alright, Brotherhood didn't be great other than the fact that still going to leave Urza doing Urza stuff. What does this thing even do? Comes out with the Teferi. This goes after Planeswalkers. I might as well just leave it. I imagine he's just going to go after the invasion. He'll get out the Teferi. I can Brotherhood's in next turn. I can 5 it. That just Planeswalker. I'd probably be doing that. A little burn down the house action. That sounds like fun. You gonna go after your land there? Home slice? There you go. This looks like a deck that's been tailor-made for exactly this situation. Well, I mean, for this, whatever's going on above this line here. Discard a creature. And they're all gone. That's a 5-er. Not gonna do me any good. Alright, so I gotta get an Obi-Wan out on the next turn. He's on a drag. He doesn't have anything going on. He's trying to draw his cards. Well, a chip, that's not going to do much good. All right, we lost that one. Let's just put that out. Point there, and all in for 3. You willing to give it up there, Obi-Wan? You are. Dead. Say, if he plays 4 well, we're screwed. All right, there we go. 1, 2. All attack. You got a lot of stuff that's got to go, my friend. That kind of move, you usually expect you're going to win. Let's see what this gets us here. Let's go to town. Gonna block one. Another one sounds really good. All right, we just gotta make it through this next turn. A farewell would be horribly, horribly bad, but burn down the house would do quite a bit for us. That's not good. Oops, that's not good. Alright, so I can kill all of his creatures and his planeswalkers, I think. And send my guy, he's got to 4. Alright, number 1. Those guys are gone. Urabrask's Forge is tapped out, so that's good. And I'll attack. And we win! Boom, boom! Suck it, mother sucker! Victory! Alright, playing against Austin Stacy 119. We're losing a whole turn. Ghost Jawa. There's some oil. We're playing with WD-40. Nice! All in for 3. Legendary, all right. Let's see what we can do with that guy. Discard 2 cards. Make him indestructible. Yeah, we were just coming on way too strong. Victory! Alright, here's one for the fun list for March, so we'll see this one again at the end of the month. Most likely. Unless, of course, there are 5 other decks that end up being more fun than this one. This was incredibly cool. What was my favorite thing? Here's my deal. I love Urabrask Forge. Love it. I like the fact that they just keep getting bigger. I like the fact that people aren't really packing much artifact hate. I mean, there are things to take out of what non-land permanents. Yeah, you just got to deal with it. But this deck has 4 of them. Plus, it has the ability to copy them with Mycosynth Gardens. I love Urabrask Forge. You know, and it's just even when it comes out, people usually don't care about it that much just because they're so easy to plan for. You just got to get something to block. You got some time. Don't worry, everything's cool. I guess Brotherhood's in would just wipe them all out. That would suck. But anyways, they are so much fun in my opinion. I love it. It kind of reminds me of the, what was it, the skeleton one that came out of, like with the Viking set. I can never remember proper names. I'm sorry. That one just kept putting out like more zombie or skeletons, and they got +1/+1 for each one that you're attacking with or something. That's what Urabrask Forge reminds me of, and I love both of those cards big time. So, who was the MVP? Well, the MVP, it was Urabrask Forge. It's the backbone of this deck. It is Urabrask Forge, and everything else is kind of built around it to certain. Secondly, it's the Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan deals damage every time that tokens are being put onto things, and Urabrask's Forge is self-tokening. So it provides a creature, plus it provides tokens, which then triggers off Obi-Wan. There's so much good things that happen between these two. It's too bad Obi-Wan will be expensive, but 5 is not that expensive for all the goodness that it does. All right, so let's just run it down. Is this deck competitive? I think I have an 80% win rate with it right now. Your deal is I will not play mono blue. So anytime I play mono blue, I just skip it. But of the non-mono blue decks I started off against, I only lost one time. 80% win rate. Excellent job. Oily growth. So I am considering this to be a competitive deck. Will it do well against mono blue? I don't know. Because I will never know. You'll have to find out for yourself. Number 2, was this deck fun? Absolutely. The big problem is that you have to watch your hand when you start off with. There are times it gives you a bunch of cool stuff that is like in the 4 and the 5 ratio. You can't. You have to start off low. You need Thrummingbird. You need Exuberant Fuseling. You need Urabrask Forge, and 2 or 3 mana. So you have to be able to play the stuff in this hand. You need it early. Otherwise, you're just asked to the win. Way too much. So, but as long as you know how to mulligan appropriately for this deck, it actually does a very good job. Number 3, is this deck interesting? I didn't consider that one when I was putting this together. This really was about Urabrask Forge and trying to make use of finding ways to do things with it. And I guess that is what's interesting with it. It's an oil counter card. There's everything that comes out here pretty much puts oil counters onto stuff or makes copies of artifacts or proliferates. And, we got a couple board wipes in here too. These guys are kind of interesting and weird because this allows you for double proliferation. I never got it to trigger off. This one, for all of the creature damage you're doing, it only doubles the damage of non-combat damage. I really put them in here to make all of Obi-Wan just be amazingly good. Burn down the house, and this would be totally incredible. But, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you could probably swap either of these out with something else if you felt like it, and it's not that big of a deal. So, yeah, this deck it's a nice footprint. It's got a nice feel to it, and there's also room for swapping things out. It's not so tightly bound that you can't do something with it. Like the other guy I'd potentially get rid of would be Cacophony Scamp. I saw the word proliferate. I'm like, hey, man, let's go for it. But then I found out that you have to sacrifice it to get the proliferate to work. So he's okay. I'm just thinking I'd rather swap him out for like a, whatever it is, the other lightning strike that's at 2 or whatever, where you can scry. That's probably a better card. Just something with a little, something in the 1 range that you could do with red or blue. Maybe even card draw. I don't know. I would probably, like I said, I'd go with the scry and the 2 points of damage to any target. I think that's got the best utility in this Is It aggro deck. All right, so is this deck competitive? Yeah. Is this deck fun? Totally. Is this deck interesting? Yeah, it is interesting, and there's definitely more things you can do with it. So that means this deck is an A+ deck. And as I'm required by federal law to say, This deck is so choice. I would highly recommend you pick one up should you have the means. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.